everybody, I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal on the channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading while the price is going up or down. Over on total for the daily, our VWAP is pushing forward. Momentum is starting to gain some strength with a green dot suggesting that it does want to push forward. If it can continue to push forward, we can see this money flow remain in the green, and then we would be able to continue forward. Now our MPP is projecting that we could still see a rejection around the 936, but there is the potential to continue beyond it toward that 1 trillion area that we have been saying to watch for, so hopefully you've been listening. Over on the 1 hour, we do have some higher highs with higher lows, so this does look positive at a glance. Let's see if there's a rising channel. I would not call a rising channel out of this, so this could be a bullish continuation. A bullish continuation will continue to push you up, but keep in mind, our MPP is projecting a push down. We did get that push down. We actually got the full MPP projection almost, and then we did continue forward. So if we can continue with a higher high from here, we could see this bullish continuation take us toward that 936. Our VWAP is bullish, so that is positive. Momentum is pushing forward, and our money flow is strong in the green. If this remains bullish here on the lower time frames, remember our lower time frames can start to push those higher time frames up. So the 2 hour is in the green on that money flow, the 4 hour is in the green, and that does give us that environment for the strong green candles. So keep that in mind as well. And if we start seeing dominance weaken here, then that's where you would see your altcoin season for those of you wondering. So over on Bitcoin futures for the daily, it does look like our MPP is projecting a drop down. There is quite the drop down. There's a 20% chance to hit 40K, it says, so that'd be catastrophic. But there's an 80% chance of hitting 91K, it says. So again, I would exercise caution here and consider taking profits if you have not. Our VWAP is bullish, momentum is heading up, money flow is in the green, our stochastic does want to round, and the RSI is starting to go flat. Over on the 1 hour, does look like our did not move the right line, so it does look like our futures does have those higher highs with higher lows, so we could have a bullish continuation here as well, again providing they don't connect like they do right here. So I would call this more of a bullish rising channel rather than a bullish continuation, and a rising channel is a bearish pattern for those of you who have watched the Mastering the Trade video. That can take us down to that 103K. So we have been warning that we want to hold that support level. If we break it, that's where we would see that push down toward those 90K areas. Our VWAP is bullish though, so that is positive. If this VWAP can get a consistent high after getting this shorter low, then momentum can remain bullish, money flow can remain green, and we could continue forward. But if that VWAP makes a lower high and then breaks into the bearish territory, I would watch for this pattern to play out. So over on Bitcoin for the daily, we did invalidate that lower time frame pattern, so that is positive. We'll cover how that happened on the lower time frame, but that VWAP is bullish, momentum is gaining strength, RSI is pushing up, and the stochastic does want to push up as well. So overall on the daily, it does look like we are gaining some strength. There is no projection from the MPP though, so I would watch out for that and take the futures with a grain of salt, because maybe we're not going to have a clear projection from here. Now, there was a possibility of hitting about 110K. We did stop short. We did say if this pattern does not break down, there would be a chance to push forward, possibly toward that range. So hopefully you did take advantage of that. As this VWAP was pretty bullish, we did break into the bearish territory, but we did not stay in the bearish territory for long. So seeing that VWAP pick up strength could have been your cue right at that support level that we were going to push forward. Our momentum is gaining strength as well. VWAP is starting to push up, but we have a lower high compared to right here. So watch out if that VWAP rolls over. If it rolls over, then we could see a rejection from the zone, and that's where we would test those support levels. It does project we may push toward that 107K again, but that would be a higher low. If it's followed by a higher high, then we can continue toward that 110, 112K range that we did mention several times. So hopefully this didn't catch you off guard. If it did, then maybe you should watch a little bit more. But over on Graph for the daily, also hit the thumbs up and subscribe. Otherwise, if you aren't subscribed, you're not going to be able to watch more because you probably won't see it. VWAP does want to push up, momentum is pushing forward, money flow is in the green, stochastic is pulling back, and the RSI is pretty flat. Watch that stochastic. If it continues to push down here, we could start to weaken, but if the rest of the market pushes forward, again, it would be likely graph would push up as well, and watch those lower time frames. Over on the 1 hour, we do have slightly higher lows with higher highs. I would watch though if this creates a rising channel. Again, you draw your parallel channel, then connect your bottoms. If you're into mixing the wicks, there's too much of a gap for those wicks for me. But VWAP does want to push forward, momentum is pushing up, and the money flow is in the green, so I would say this is more of a bullish continuation. And again, if that VWAP does not roll over here, then we could try to push up toward the 11-cent zone, where there's about a 70% chance to hit. Over on XRP for the daily, we did have that could go up, could go down pattern. That's why I don't like symmetrical triangles, but we did get the full break up. Our stochastic is making a bearish divergence though, so I would exercise caution, and we did stop short of testing those previous consolidation highs. So unlike the rest of the coins, it does look like we're meeting a little bit of resistance here. Momentum is overall pushing down. VWAP is pushing up, so we do have higher lows. Watch if we can break over that neutral and hold. If we can, then the MPP is projecting that push up toward that resistance area of the 254 and then toward that 274. So over on the 1 hour, you can see we kind of whipsawed back and forth. So again, that VWAP did ramp up. That did lead to that push off that support level. And that could have been your cue that we would see some strength. Momentum did push forward. But now that VWAP is starting to kind of sputter. It did get a lower high, but it got higher lows. So it's kind of fighting for strength here. We do technically have a higher low compared to this little baby high right here. So we technically have a bullish trend trying to form here, which could try to push us up with this higher low, providing we can break away from this zone and get a higher high above that 241, 242 zone. So last but not least, for anchor for the daily, it does look like we are indecisive, so we didn't get quite the push the rest of the market got, and we did pretty much go flat. This is an indecision candle, so I would exercise caution. And VWAP does want to round away, so I would watch those lower time frames. Momentum is pushing down, and the money flow is in the red. Over on the 1 hour, it looks like we tried to push into our zone. We gapped on our way up and then just crashed back down, jumped back up to fill that gap, and then we push back down. That's why when you see quick movements, you don't want to really rely on them, because remember, a quick jump up is usually retraced. Over on the 1 hour, that VWAP does have higher lows though, and we are trying to break that neutral. If we can stay above that neutral, momentum could continue forward with that green dot. That would keep that money flow in the green, and that would help push us forward toward the MPP does say about 2053. So that'd be a jump at least above that 20 support level, but there is also a chance that we could see a rejection. The MPP did project a rejection toward that 1651, so that would be providing we cannot gain that bullish strength. If that VWAP were to reject, that's where those bearish scenarios would come into play, and then you would want to exercise the caution then. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a great night. Hit the like and subscribe, and join us in that Discord.